I'm here with Myles Ross, Hayfield senior running back. Myles set all kinds of records in his career with Hayfield. He also just recently committed to Rhode Island, where we'll be playing football next year.
Yes, sir.
We'll get into that. We'll get into the records. We'll get into what you're doing next year. But first of all, you're never playing a high school football game again. What does that feel like to you right now?
It's a crazy feeling. This came a lot faster than I thought it would. Being a freshman, my dad would always tell me, "Oh, it's gonna go by. These 4 years are gonna go by really fast," and it came way faster than I thought, and it's just overwhelming. I guess you can say that there's no real way I feel about it. I'm happy and I'm sad about it because all the memories I made with the people that I've been playing with for years all come to an end, but it's bittersweet because I'm moving on to bigger and better things.
Here you see some of your highlights. Obviously, you had a lot of success with Hayfield. Do you have a favorite memory that you can identify?
There's too many.
How about what do you miss most?
The bonds, my friends, the support they gave me. Every game, we'd always tell each other, I've got their back, they've got my back. And that was just one thing that I've always stressed, that if they laid out for me, then I'd definitely lay myself out on the line for them.
Once again, we saw some impressive highlights there, so that play has earned you some interesting nicknames. Can you tell us about some of those nicknames?
Well, my most popular Twitter name, Sauce Boss. And then we've got my coach, who calls me Wild Myles Ross, and his favorite, which is Barbie.
Barbie.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it, Myles Ross, nicknamed Barbie. Okay, so now let's get into the records. I mean, you set all kinds of records. Do you know how many you set? According to the Hayfield website, 22 rushing records. I didn't even know there were 22 things you could break.
I didn't either.
But you set the career rushing yards record with over 3,500. You set the record for rushing yards in a season with over 1,800, and a single game, as you see here, with 335 earlier this season against Yorktown. What do all those records mean to you?
It means a lot because one thing that when I got on varsity, I told myself was that I wanted to make a name for myself, and I wanted to leave a legacy at this school because my brother, who had played running back before me, made a name for himself, and he always told me, create your own path, set the foundation for who I have is my younger brother, Andrew Ross, who's coming up. I just wanted to put my name in something that could be permanent, which I hope nobody breaks. But it felt great because anything that you set out to do feels good, and when you accomplish it, so.
Well, I would say 22 records is pretty long-lasting. That's a strong legacy. Is there anything else you hoped to accomplish that you didn't? I mean, are you proud? Are you satisfied?
One thing that I always told my coaches and my family and my friends was that I always strive for 2,000. In the last game, as you know, I had the injury, so I stopped playing early, so I couldn't reach that. But after talking to my coaches and my family, looking back on it, I had a great career. I did a lot of good things. So at first I was sad about it, but then I realized my name is left in the record books here. So
yeah, well, over 1,800 yards in one season isn't too bad when the Hayfield all-time record was just about 1,800 yards before, and so you did that in one season and shattered by it. But moving on from Hayfield, you recently committed to play football for Rhode Island.
Yes, sir.
Talk about what attracted you so much to the Rams.
Well, for one, when I went up there, it just felt great. It's not too big, but it's not too small. They have about a little over 13,000 people enrolled in their school. One of my former teammates, Montez Wilson, is one of my best friends. He's up there now. So that was one of the reasons I'd like to go up there. They have my major, which is marine biology. They have that, which a lot of schools didn't. So that was attractive to me. The football team, although on paper, what you see, it doesn't look too hot, but one thing I saw when I watched them play was they're moving forward, and I wanted to be a part of something that built up to the top.
Okay, so some insight there about a Rhode Island program that maybe we don't know much about, so
Right.
That is some great information there. But you made the commitment while driving back from a different recruiting trip from Liberty, so why the timing there?
Well, actually, I had planned the trip way before, and my decision had come that night before I went there. So it was just the kind of thing where I was just thinking to myself how I would fit in at each school. Each school is planned for me. How would I like it academically if, God forbid, something were to happen, an injury or something like that. So that's one big thing I took into consideration, and I felt like Rhode Island had the best plan for me.
So you had 2 offers, one from Rhode Island, one from Norfolk State. You also had interest from Liberty and JMU, and like I said, you committed actually driving back from Liberty. So you went with Rhode Island, your heart was in it, but you're not playing running back, even though you have all these great records with Hayfield. You're switching to defense.
Yep.
Talk about that.
One thing my coaches, when I was younger, told me was that I was always a defensive player. I love getting after the ball, which may not seem like it if you watch my high school games. Running back was more of a high school thing to people that have watched me play since I was younger. Although I was good at that, there's a lot of things that I do really well on defense that people really haven't got to see, since last year I didn't play defense at all, and I didn't play much defense my sophomore year, so not a lot of people know.
Okay, well, is there anything you hope to improve? I mean, you don't have necessarily as much experience defense
Right.
as you do offense. I mean,
Right.
offense, you have all that experience. Is there anything you hope to improve between now and then as a defensive player?
Just all the fundamentals, good feet, good hips. It's everything that you could think of that a DB does well. I just want to perfect before I get to college.
All right, my last question for you. What are you looking forward to most? I mean, your high school career is done. Now you're about to go play college. The opportunities are endless. What are you most looking forward to?
The experience. Everybody that I've talked to, all the adults that have been through college, have told me college is going to be the greatest experience of your life, so I'm just looking forward to that most.
All right, great. Well, that's Myles Ross, the Hayfield all-time leading rusher and future Ram, going to Rhode Island here in a few months. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.